Well, very, very good evening to you. Welcome to the West Ham Voice. It's quite late and it's the third show of the night, but thank you for joining me. I hope you enjoyed the watch along. My sincere apologies for the mess up, the missed the first, 10 minutes of the game or so. But thank you for those of you who stuck by me and then ended up watching the game with me. And I hope you enjoyed the commentary. I tried my best. I haven't done a watch along for years. I don't think I've done a watch along on my own for God knows how long, if ever. And if I miss any more games for whatever reason, then yes, I promise to do another watch along again. Who knows? Maybe the Saturday game against Arsenal, depending on how I'm recovering. And if I feel okay, I'm going to the bloody game. If I don't feel okay to go to the game, but all right to sort of maybe do a show, then I'll definitely do that instead. So my thanks to all of you for having watched the watch along with me. My apologies for having missed the first 10 minutes, but hey, we got the important stuff. We saw the important stuff like the goals, which is important. So there you go. But that wasn't for the want of trying to get me ready and set up in time. But sometimes things just don't turn out that way. Anyway, this is the last show of the day, and it's a reflection of the game because overall, I think in essence, uh, given Nuno coming in so late, and he'd taken training on Saturday afternoon, given all the stuff that's going on around West Ham United, I thought we actually put in a pretty reasonable performance. I thought we did quite well. I thought that the players turned up. Even when we went a goal down, I thought we sort of showed effort and we showed vigor and we showed that we really want to do well at West Ham. So in that respect, I'm pleased. I'm pleased for Nuno. I'm pleased for the players. I think we did well. In fact, there's a chance we could have almost nicked the game. It could have gone either way, to be quite honest with you. I think Everton had their chances. We had our chances. We could have nicked it in the end, but it wasn't to be. But a 1-1 draw for the first game in charge away to Everton. I think we're the first team to have scored at Everton's new ground as well. Correct me if I'm wrong now. But overall, I think we did really well. So let's start with the lineup because there were two changes. And as I alluded to earlier in the day, the two changes were Magassa coming in for James Ward-Prowse and Fulkrug coming in for Wilson. Yeah, I think a lot of people were quite happy with that lineup. Areola in goal, Walker-Peters, Mavropanos, Kilman and Diouf at the back, Magassa, Fernandes and Paqueta in the middle, and the attacking lineup of Summerville, Bowen, either side of Fulkrug. I think everybody liked it. I think it was quite clever of Nuno to have actually kept the shape of the team, because I think a lot of people assume that maybe he would have changed the formation, because Nuno often prefers to go with a back three, a 3-2-4-1 formation, ideally, or a 3-4-3, and especially away from home. So I think it was good in a lot of sense to not rock the boat too much. It was a lineup that the players had started to become familiar with. I know Potter didn't really like a 4-2-3-1 formation. I know he preferred a three at the back, but maybe Nuno had a quick assessment of the squad that is available to him and said, look, I can't play with three at the back. There's no way. So it's going to have to be a 4. Let's see if he keeps that shape. I don't know. But overall, I like the team. I like the setup. And then when we looked at the subs bench, guess one of the real positives, I guess, is 4 very young players on the bench. Luis Guilherme, of course, Scarles, Potts back on the bench, and Callum Marshall as well. And I like that too. Todibo, nowhere to be seen. And of course, James Ward-Prowse, also nowhere to be seen. And again, as I alluded to really early in the day, James Ward-Prowse didn't even travel with the squad today. So I guess, you can make your own mind up what that means for his future. Look, the game itself, fairly even, I think, throughout the whole game. But again, we can't really defend crosses that well. Okay, Everton didn't score from an actual set piece. But when the ball was floated in after the corner was cleared, not far enough away, but when the ball was floated back in again, you've got to be honest, it was a beautiful header by Michael Keane on 20 minutes or so for them to go a goal up. And did they deserve it? I think they were on the front foot. It started off evenly. Then Everton started being the home team, started to take more and more control of the game. And yeah, I guess you could argue that perhaps they were, as the game was flowing, they should have been a goal up. Dinos, to be quite honest with you, should have been an awful lot closer to the player to make that header more difficult. It was a great header, the way he flicked it to the side of him. But if Dinos had been touch tight on him, it would have made it a lot harder for him to get that header. And that's the thing that I think Nuno, it sort of shot to Nuno after they scored, and you could see he wasn't happy, probably more with the defence than anything else. I bet they must have worked, even with just a couple of days that they've had on the training ground, I bet they must have worked a lot harder to sort of clear their lines on corners and balls into the box, etc. So he would have been disappointed that goal was scored in the manner that it was. But after that, they didn't really have their finishing touch, Everton. But that's not my problem. It's theirs. And that's down to Moyes to sort out and nothing to do with us. Areola played well and pulled off several decent saves to keep us in the game. Good shot stop. We've always known Areola has been a good shot stopper. He still can't distribute the ball. And I don't like this whole thing about passing the ball inside the 18-yard box, the keeper passing to a defender and then passing it back in, or the defender doing the... Just boot it up. Just tell everyone it's going to go long. Get it out of the way, and then hedge your bets and try and control the ball when it's further away from the goal than trying to control it, because we almost messed up one or two times when we were trying to play the ball out from the back, and it almost resulted in us going 2-0 down. But overall, they had 12 shots on target. I think I've got the stats somewhere. Let me just have a look at the stats, because the stats were quite good, quite interesting overall. Possession-wise, Everton had 51.5% possession. West Ham had 48.5% possession. So even though Nuno is renowned to be a counter-attacking manager, we still had 48% of the ball. And we did a lot more with that 48% than I think Potter ever did. Total touches inside the opposition box, Everton had 30, we had 29, so like for like. Goalkeeper saves, Areola. I do wonder if maybe I should have given him the man of the match. Well, no, there are others. But Areola, he pulled off 5 saves to Everton's 2. They had 3 corners and we had, I think, all our corners, 5 corners in the second half. In-depth match stats, shots. They had 12. We had 14. They had 6 on target. We had only 3. Attempts outside the box. We had 4. They had 3. I'm not going to do KG. I don't understand any of that. Distribution, total passes, 413 for us, 437 for them. So not bad for an away team. Pass accuracy, theirs were better, 85% to our 79%. We had more forward passes, and that's interesting. Where we weren't getting an awful lot of that and we kept being blamed for passing it sideways and backwards, we had more forward passes than they did throughout the game, 148 to their 123. So, we did well. I think overall, we matched them like for like. I think it was a really, really good performance from West Ham. In other games, when we've gone a goal down, when we've gone 1-0 down or whatever, our heads have dropped, and before you know it, we're sort of 2-0 down, 3-0 down, and so on. But we showed vigor, we showed fight, we showed strength. There were some players who played better than others, and I'm going to go into that in a moment. But overall, I think for Nuno's first game, I don't think you could argue. I think it was good. I think it was good, and there's more to come. So what about some specific players? Well, man of the match, without a shadow of a doubt, was Crescencio Summerville. He drove up them. They couldn't keep up with his pace. I love to see the way he moved. He's really back at it. And after there was one point in the second half where there was a bit of a mix-up with their defender and goalie, and Summerville almost nicked it. He ran in behind the defender, in between the defender and the goalie, but Pickford pulled off a decent save. But his pace, his energy, his drive was not a match for the Everton defenders. He had them every time he got the ball. I said, just run at the defender. They're not going to keep up with you at all. But he got man of the match. But I think close by, and if he hadn't been taken off because he had to be taken off, Sungutu Magassa was absolutely superb in the centre of midfield. I'm going to come to your comments, and I do promise, by the way. And by the way, if you're watching the channel and you've yet to become a subscriber, in that top corner, there's a QR code. Click on that, become a subscriber of the channel. If you don't subscribe, then at least please do hit the like button. And even if you want to do even more than that, you can become a member of the channel. I'm raising money for prostate cancer. Already raised £100, so thank you for that, and I'm going to match that. So that means £200 is going to prostate cancer, and that's thanks to you. All the money that I raised through the membership scheme goes to prostate cancer. So £200 raised. Thank you for that. So if you can become a subscriber. If you want to go one step further, you can become a member of the channel, and whatever money's raised will go to Prostate Cancer UK. And if you don't do any of that, but please hit the like button at the end. Why am I raising money for prostate cancer? Because I have that, and I will be having my operation in the morning for those of you who watch me regularly. So anyway, let's move on. Magassa, I thought, was superb. I wonder why he hasn't started until now. Well, we know why, don't we? But he was a driving force in the centre of midfield. Absolute great energy. He got stuck in. He wasn't afraid. I think he was unlucky to be booked. Very unlucky. The referee at times sort of was a bit haphazard. 1 minute he was booking players. Tarkowski should have been sent off. Tarkowski pulled off 3 awful fouls. He got booked for 1, and immediately after he got booked, Tarkowski, let's get rid of that for a second. Immediately after he got booked Tarkowski, he pulled off another foul, and had he not been booked, he would have been booked for that. So I don't know why the referee didn't book him. And then later in the game, he pulled off yet another awful foul, and should have been booked for that, and he was lucky. Magassa was, he got booked. I thought it was quite, of course, I'm going to be claret and blue tinted glasses on it, but I thought there was a challenge that the Magassa went in for, which I don't think he should have been booked for. But it is what it is. So I understand why he was taken off, because had he not been taken off, if he'd picked up another card, we would have been down to 10 men. So it made sense for Magassa to come off. But I thought he was absolutely excellent in the centre of midfield. I thought he had drive. I thought he had energy. I thought he had just decent, the way he controlled the ball. He seemed calm. He seemed confident. The way he was passing the ball. What a player, 21 years of age. And also his defensive duties as well. His natural position is a central defender, but he's been converted to be a defensive midfielder. Most central defenders seem to become defensive midfielders, and he helped out in the centre as well. He was quite tall. I didn't realise how tall he was, but I liked him. I thought he was absolutely superb. And another player that I thought was superb was Diouf. Had a great game, and he grew into the game as the game was developing. He got more and more involved, and the pace that this young man has got. I thought Summerville was fast. There was one time, was it for the goal? I think it was, when he just kicked the ball forward, and he not only was the player, did he beat him for pace, but he also managed to get a great cross in. And it was the cross that resulted in our equaliser. So that cross into the Everton 18-yard box wasn't cleared. It fell to Bowen, and Bowen, despite being quiet in the game, did what Bowen does: got it on his left foot and smashed it into the corner. Absolutely superb. Diouf, another really good. We've got the irony, isn't it, really? Now that Potter's gone, but Potter just didn't use him in the right way. We've actually got some pretty decent pacey players. Summerville, well, that wasn't Potter, was it? Summerville has got great pace. Diouf has got great pace. Magassa is fantastic in the middle of the park. So good. It's looking good. It's boding. He's got a platform there, Nuno, to build from. And Diouf was just fantastic. Now, despite being quiet all night long, like I said, Jared Bowen does what Jared Bowen does. I was a bit surprised. I don't know if some of the comments that had been put out on social media had affected him about Potter having reservations about him being a leader, etc. But you know what? If Jared scores a goal every game and it either gets us a point or gets us all three, and he does not much else, then all right, I'll take that. But it was a quiet game for Jared Bowen, but it was a great goal that he scored, and of all the players for it to fall to, that's where you wanted it to fall to, someone like him. Look, 1-1, I think it was probably deserved. I think, you saw the stats, or I told you the stats, pretty even. So I thought it was a fairly even game, and maybe 1-1 was a fair outcome. What about the downside? Well, our defense is still weak. Nuno's got a lot of work to do there. We sometimes panic in the center of defense, and it's just interesting to see what happens with how he's going to manage both Mavropanos and Kilman. Look, maybe some people have been saying maybe he'll look for a central defender that's a free agent and bring a central defender in. Maybe he'll use Aaron Wan-Bissaka at the back when Wan-Bissaka comes back from injury or illness or whatever it is. But Wan-Bissaka coming back in, I don't think he'd be used in a back four. I think Wan-Bissaka wouldn't be one of the two central defenders. I think Wan-Bissaka would end up being part of a back three if he was put in defence. And then, does he use other players? Does he call back Alvarez? There's a big chance, a great chance, and I know what people have been saying through the watch along, that you bring Alvarez in and all of a sudden you're going to have a player that's going to be, conceding, who's going to be conceding penalties, free kicks, he's going to be getting yellow cards, being sent off, etc., etc. So there is that as well. There, it is a danger, but we know that Alvarez can play as a central defender. So it wouldn't surprise me if Alvarez was brought back, if there's an opportunity to do so, and maybe played in central defence. There's also Souček, but I'm not so sure about Souček being a central defender. Sure, he can head the ball, but that doesn't make you a central defender. So it'd be interesting to see what Nuno does. I mean, we've got a couple of months left yet before the January window opens, but if there's a free agent out there, maybe. Just maybe, who knows? I think Fernandes was quiet, but that's only because I think he played in a much deeper role than usual, because we know that Nuno likes a pivot too. I think what's going to happen with Fernandes is Fernandes will probably be asked to play slightly out of position for the rest of the season. When Paqueta goes at the end of this season, I think that's who take over. Fernandes will take over Paqueta's role, and Nuno will bring in or get another pivot player to play alongside Magassa in the squad. Paqueta himself, well, sometimes good, sometimes not so good, and sometimes gives the ball away. And he gave the ball away quite a lot tonight. I just wish, all I want from Lucas Paqueta is to do the easy stuff good, not the difficult stuff not so good. Not every ball has got to be a Hollywood pass, because sometimes he tries just that bit too hard, lobbing it and all that sort of stuff. Sometimes just all it needs is just a simple ball into a player. And then I think the one thing that surprised me, and if there's any sort of black mark against Nuno, it's that he didn't take Füllkrug off. He gave Füllkrug the whole 90 minutes. And I was actually quite surprised by that. And I kept watching, it's the first time I haven't been to a game and I've watched it on TV. And I guess you do see things slightly differently when you're watching a game from home or from on TV, is that every time I saw the ball coming to Füllkrug, I thought, right, he's going to control it. He's going to get other players involved. And almost every time he got the ball, he lost it straight away. He doesn't seem to have any strength left in him. He wasn't winning the 50-50s. I don't know. It's like he certainly got no pace. There was one pass into the box in the second half where a slightly pacier player would have got on the end of it and maybe stuck it in. And Füllkrug was just so off the pace. And, one of the things I mentioned about the fact that we got pace was I was really, really surprised that he didn't bring Callum Marshall on, because Callum Marshall running at this team, at the Everton team, they wouldn't have kept up with him, and I think he would have given them a torrid time. But that's not the way Nuno plays. He normally prefers a target man, and with the likes of Diouf crossing the ball into the box, you can understand that. I think maybe it will come good. I'm not so sure it'll be Fulkrug that will come good. Again, it's going to be interesting to see what Nuno does in the transfer market. Do I think we're going to get players in the transfer market? Well, certainly, I don't think he's going to get much money, if any money at all. As I've said before in previous shows today, I think there are going to be a couple of casualties in the January transfer window. I think Hermansen might go. It's quite possible. I think the Todibo, that seems to have fallen out with it all and sundry, seems to be a bit of a bad apple, and he might go. And I think also James Ward-Prowse, he might go. The only thing is, though, you need a club to buy these players. Hermansen, I can see him maybe dropping back down to the Championship. Todibo, I think he'll go abroad. And when it comes to James Ward-Prowse, I think also, we're going to have to subsidise his 115 grand a week salary quite heavily in order for him to move elsewhere. Again, quite possibly, I can't see any club in the Premier League wanting James Ward-Prowse. I don't mean that nastily, but I think his time in the Premier League seems to be done. I can't see any of the teams that might be struggling in the Premier League wanting to have James Ward-Prowse there. I could be wrong. Who knows? But I can't see it myself. So I think maybe he'll have to drop down a league as well in order to get game time. So there's my summary. Look, like I said, there's the QR code if you want to become a subscriber, if you want to become a member. Any membership I earn from this channel goes straight to Prostate Cancer UK. But if you don't want to do any of that, that's absolutely fine. Just hit that like button. So let's go into the chat, because I can see that you've all been very, very patient tonight. So my thanks for that. Usual, great stuff tonight still on your stream. Thank you very much, mate. Much appreciated. Toha, so you'll be doing this live from the operating theatre at 10:35. I know. I realised while I was writing some notes, I went, oh yeah, look, I'm actually meant to be going live at 10:35 tonight. It became 10:45 in the end. So yeah. Foxes, good luck still. Hope you get plenty. Thank you very much, mate. Potts, Freddie Potts, he came on, didn't he, for Magassa? Keep Potts on, stick Magassa in central defence. Look, I think they both played well. It made total sense to bring Freddie Potts on for Magassa, because if Magassa had got another booking, he would have been sent off. And Freddie Potts came on and did very, very well. And I'm really, really pleased for the lad that he's back in the reckoning. And I just hope that continues. If he wants a pivot of two, there's no reason why Magassa and Potts can't be that pivot of two. That means you're going to have to give up an attacking player. Maybe Fernandez, I don't know. Maybe another Paqueta or whatever. Can't see that really happening. But I think it was sensible and wise for Potts to come on for Magassa. It made total sense. At least it took 16 minutes to give away a corner. Yes, it did, Foxes. Yeah, and Fulkrug was very, very poor. I agree. And still only 2 days with a squad and we get a point. Absolutely. Frog. Feel a bit more positive. Hopefully not another false dawn. I think, the way we battled back, like I've said before, in the last couple of months, we go a goal down and we just collapse. We fought back, and here's the irony. And I don't want to keep likening it to a previous manager, but here's the irony. The last time we started to fight back was when we were under David Moyes. But there you go. Bernie, well, we had the momentum with us in this game tonight. We had been a bit more bold. Had we been a bit more bold and put Marshall on up front with his pace and movement, we could have won it maybe. I do agree, totally agree. We must surely be looking for an out-of-contract centre-back who can head the ball. Yes, it's a risk, but not having one is a greater risk. Carl Walker-Peters shows that they are about Mark. We need cover at right back. Was worried at points. Grealish. We tried to get Walker-Peters to foul him and pick up a second yellow. Great fight from this team. Second half, we were way better. Well, we've got cover, haven't we? Because when Wan-Bissaka comes back, there's our cover. Forgive me, I can't read out every comment, but I'll try to get everyone's comments in. So forgive me if I don't read out every single one. Feels positive right now. What a change. Absolutely. Moyes was raging on the touchline, Phil. Yeah, I saw that. That was funny. 6 times 9, Danny. We missed James Ward-Prowse backward passing, said no one. Usual. I'm thinking of having a whip round Christmas to buy still. Iron Disciple. Well, all right, Nuno. No more statue Panos or playing full crook for 90 minutes. Well, I don't think at this moment in time he's got any choice with Mavropanos. There's no other options at this moment in time. But I agree with you on full crook, and I'm actually really surprised he played full crook for the whole 90 minutes. Obsidian, good evening to you, mate. I hope you're well. Hope your live stream went well. Well, not really. I was about 20 minutes late, or if not longer, and I missed the first 10 minutes of the game. But other than that, it was absolutely superb. I was watching the game, so I didn't man. Well, you did the right thing. Bowling Lounge, good evening, lads. How are you? I hope you're well. Martin, you're as good as Morty. I don't think so. Michael, Paqueta is too much of a flair player trying to play silly stuff when a simple pass will do. Time to get rid. Well, he'll be going at the end of this season. John, I remember watching with mother. Keith, Calispero to you, mate. Good result. It was a fair, you know what? It was a fair result tonight. I think, to get a point away from home, given that Nuno's only been here a couple of days, then absolutely. Paul, good luck. Thank you very much, mate. Much appreciated. NWO, how are you, mate? I hope you're well. James Ward-Prowse would be shot if he was a horse. Massive improvement. Danny. Michael Melly, I agree. Everybody see where's Michael Melly? Don't know. I agree. Everybody seems to think Pack is Di Canio Mark II, but he's not he's not what we need. We need somebody to look after the ball better. He was poor tonight. He wasn't great. Absolutely. Iron Disciple. We could have nicked it, but this is daylight. Country mile better than what Potter would have done. We would have got smoked. I totally agree. I think if there was anything that Moyes would have been most upset about is Potter going, because I think Moyes would have looked at it and said 3 points. David M. I want to wish you, thank you very much, mate. Thank you, much appreciated. Good evening, Joan. Very pleased with the point. We all were. Mark. At last, the game with a bit of character from our players. I enjoyed watching them this evening. We played well, people. We fought hard. We actually fought hard. We played well. We were in it. And I agree, NWO should have, if not Wilson, then Marshall, one or the other, but should have absolutely subbed him. But we played well tonight. There's absolutely no doubt about it. We got ourselves in it. We got ourselves back in the game. We could have nicked it. Bolin. All round a good point, especially from a goal down. Showed some grit. Think Nuno missed a trick, not introducing Wilson when we looked on top. But hey ho, I agree with that. I agree. Absolutely agree. Keith, Aaron, is that a fact? I knew Arsenal Toffees, but Spurs too. What did Aaron say? I don't know. We were first to score at Arsenal, Tottenham, and Everton. I thought we were first to score. Yeah, I thought. Yeah, when I said that earlier. Yeah, it's a good feeling, that, isn't it? Is that the only records we're going to have? Paul, great point. Play players where we have been calling out to see. Potts had a great game. He got in there, didn't he? That was important. Paul, more positives than negatives. Respect the point on this occasion. Absolutely. Harry. Stel, you got some grapes and Lucasade. I'll send it to the Royal Chelsea Hospital. Good luck. I'm not in the Royal Chelsea Hospital, but someone will pick them up for you there. But thank you, Harry. Much appreciated. NWO, Magassa was good. He absolutely was. Totally agree. Usual. Nuno's been with the players 5 minutes. He would have learned a lot tonight. I totally agree with that. He would have seen, he wasn't happy in the first half. You could see it in his face. He certainly wasn't happy about the goal being conceded, without a shadow of a doubt. John, the 3 new boys in midfield will improve the more game time they get, and that will leave Souček to come on later in the game and steady the match. See, I totally agree. Even James Ward-Prowse has got a role to play if he plays as a backup rather than the starter. And I totally agree with Souček, without a doubt. Thank you, Joan. Much appreciated. Josh, hello again, mate. A good stream of the match. Thank you. Helped calm my nerves, having a bit of distraction on the other monitor. Showed more fight than any game under Potter. Proud of that performance. Look at the levels that we're at now in terms of our enthusiasm back just after one game. Now, look, let's be careful, because I remember feeling the same way when Potter took over the first game against Aston Villa away from home in the FA Cup earlier last season, and I felt that buzz. But I felt that buzz tonight. It's annoying me because now those are two good performances that I've not been to. When we beat Nottingham Forest away and getting the point at Everton, and I've missed both games. I don't like that. Am I a bad omen? Sai, if Si is on tonight. He messaged me earlier on. He went, "Is it us? We both those games we both missed. Is it us?" Shaky. Our defense can't command the box, and they can't jump. Own the box. I totally agree. Kilman seemed to improve, Trodge, as the game wore on. He did, but there were some moments in that game where I went, "Oh, Gonzo reckon Magassa was pants." GP, good evening to you. I hope you're well. Caractacus. The Toffees need a new mic. The after-match interview was shite. I didn't hang around for that. Malkster. Has Ward-Prowse caught Aaron Wan-Bissaka's stomach issue? I hope that he doesn't give it to Has JWP caught AWB and given it to KWP? I hope not. David, are we the first to score at Arsenal, Spurs and Everton? Someone said earlier on that we absolutely are. Aaron said it. Summerville outshone Grealish, DA. Yeah, Summerville was man of the match tonight. Man of the match. Toha, good evening to you, mate. I hope you're well. Mark, in fact, Summerville almost scored from a flick on from the Areola clear. Well, yeah, that was the almost goal. Areola booted it up straight down their defender. Headed it back to the goalkeeper, but it was a bit short, and Summerville almost got in there. Absolutely. Martin, I'm with you still. Just boot the ball up the pitch. You know what? I know. So I know you want to play from the back and all that, but if you can't, don't. If you can't do it well, just don't do it. Just boot the ball up. Look, we almost scored from it, didn't we? Paul, at least some youngsters got a run out. I'd like to have seen Marshall on for Fulcrook. I totally agree. Let's scroll down. Bowling Lounge. How far behind am I? Not that bad. Bowling Lounge, Magassa started bad but grew into the game, looked a little rash at times, but I'm sure he'll improve. Overall, decent debut for a young player, in my opinion. I totally agree. Shaky, first team to beat Arsenal at the Emirates, first team to beat the Spuds at theirs, and first team to score at Everton. Danny, Diouf, Summerville, Areola, Bowen all had a good night. I'm not sure about Bowen, to be honest with you, but great goal. Even when you're playing badly, if you can get a goal like that, that's fine by me. Areola agreed. Summerville agreed. Diouf agree. Paqueta infuriating again. I've never got the love in. He can do it, but he doesn't do it consistently enough. That's the problem. Iron Disciple. For being in 5 minutes practically with Nuno, overall, not bad at all. Better than Potter. Absolutely agreed. Trodge. Should have sold the show pony. We could have got 2 good squad players in. He'll go at the end of the season, and we'll make use of that, I'm pretty sure. Rehone, good evening to you. I hope you're well. Moyes has to eat some humble pie tonight. I think more... You know what? If it had been a more forward-thinking manager, I think they might have beaten us tonight. But, they didn't, and I'm pleased. And I don't care about Moyes anymore. David, not sure Magassa was that good. I don't know. Okay, I'll take your point. He was okay with the ball, but lost it a couple of times, as well as winning it. His passing's okay, but not forward passing enough. Potts looked good with his passing more forward. I'll take that. I'll take that. For me, I thought he was keen. He wanted to get stuck in there. I think when he did get the ball, I think a couple of times he gave the ball away, but then look at Paqueta and look at some of the other players. Look at Fulkrug. He gave the ball away quite a bit as well. But overall, I think that was his first start. And I think overall, he'll get better. I think he's decent. I think he's solid. He's slim, he's slight. You look at him, you think, well, you're not a holding midfielder, but he did exceptionally well in that respect. And I think he'll grow. I think he'll grow into this team. Fingers crossed. Jonathan, but I'll take your point. Overall, decent performance and half entertaining. Just need to make sure we don't take our eyes off the board. Still need to go. I agree with you, Jonathan, there. Totally. Trodge. We gave away too many free headers. Too often strikers unmarked between Kilman and Mab. I totally agree with you. Yeah, absolutely there. Let's scroll down. Who else do we have? Josh. Magassa was cool on the ball. He turns and moves, or passing is rather strong. He looked composed, things that what James Ward-Prowse doesn't offer. Yeah, I agree. And maybe if you're doing that comparison, that's why he looks so good. But I think he's going to grow into a better player. Eamon, I won't dig out any players tonight. The team fought back from a goal down, and on another day we could have had won it. Respect the points, and hopefully this will give the team confidence to build on that. Absolutely agree. Trodge again. Magassa makes more tackles than Ward-Prowse and Souček combined per 90 minutes. And that's what you want your holding midfielder to do. You want him to get in there. You want him not to be afraid to make those challenges. Usual. Would love to get one over the Bummers at the weekend. Them donkeys on AFT are insufferable. You know what? If I miss that game and we win, I swear on my life, I'm going to throw my season ticket away. No, I'm not. You know I'm not. You know I'm lying. Zico, thank you very much, mate. Much appreciated for that. Daniela, I have no issues. I have no issues with players being sub today. A game with the ability to use 5 subs. It's a squad game, absolutely. But I would have really liked. Either Wilson or Marshall to come on. Wilson was warming up with 10 minutes to go, but he didn't get a look in. Thank you, Mark. I really, really appreciate that. Much appreciated. Jonathan, I'm a subscriber to all West Ham channels, but I'm starting to think unsubscribe from the channels with all these subscribe requests and hypes. Just kidding. Cheeky git. Thank you, Aaron. Much appreciated. Josh, goes without saying, but once the defense is shored up, especially in the air and on set pieces, will be much better. Paqueta's indecisiveness is a worry at times. I wish he'd keep it simple. Exactly that. He just needs to keep it simple. That's all he has to do. Charles, thank you. Honestly, really, really appreciated. And I will put that into the coffer as well. Really, really appreciated, mate. Thank you. And thank you, Paul. Much appreciated as well. Stegino, good evening to you. All the best for that. Thank you very much, mate. Much appreciated. John, one thing that's made me worried about the Arse game is how we dealt with on the ball in the middle of the field. Fernandes and Gassa won't get the game time that they want at this, but it will come. Do you know what? I think one thing that we've got to look out for against Arsenal at the weekend are their crosses. All of a sudden, Declan Rice is the corner king. And we've got to really, really look. If there's nothing else that's being worked on this between now and Saturday, if Nuno works on nothing more than just defence, heading the ball away, etc., then I'll be all right with that. I do wonder what Nuno's going to do with our defence at the weekend. Toha, Arsenal away is surprisingly apt next game for me. Seriously, I'll wear my uncle's claddering that I got after he passed from prostate cancer. Thank you very much, mate. Kent, how are you, mate? On my way back, wonderful stadium. Good luck with your up. No, not due to go home till 4 o'clock. Drive carefully, mate. I don't know if you're driving or whatever, but thank you for tuning in, mates. And I hope you had a great time up there. I'm gutted. I'm absolutely gutted that I missed it. Josh, Diouf is so good. He's one of those players that gives me more confidence when he's making a run or has the ball. He looks superb. And he got more and more into that game. They can cope with his pace. Only criticism of Diouf is his throws, schoolboy stuff with the foul throws. I know he got away with it a few times, didn't he? I'll take that criticism. I don't care. If that's all that he's bad at, then I'll take that. Malpster, I thought Wilson could have offered us something more than what Fulcrook offered in the last 20, 30 minutes. I'm surprised that he didn't make that change. I really am. Iron Disciple. They looked like they actually were tapped in and playing much more enthusiastically. I thought, absolutely. Bowen, 9 goals away from Antonio. He'll smash that, won't it? Apache, Stel, what is it now? Missed 2 league games, 1 win, 1 draw. I know. Don't think I don't. I know. And I'm getting really worried about that. Maybe it's me. Caractacus. Moy spoke highly of us having some good players in the aftermatch interview. Good. And so he should. Did he say, that James Ward-Prowse is really good? Adam, to be fair, Kilman was very good. I think Kilman got better, Adam. I don't think he was great. I think he got better. But there were times when he was quite shaky. GP, I'm going to miss Stel's streams. He's the only West Ham fan I would choose to be stuck in the lift with. Thank you, GP. David, not bad from West Ham considering the ball wanted to write off these 2 games. Don't listen to that. That's a hogwash. There are some things that I know the board are crap at, but to write off 2 games, no, I don't think so. Yes, they were looking at potentially bringing in Nuno before the end of after these 2 games, but I'm glad that Nuno said I want to come in sooner. I really am. Trini Potts can be the other midfielder, holding midfielder. Absolutely agree. Good evening to you, Clive. I hope you're well, mate. Greeting, hemorrhoids. Trudge. Paqueta is a donkey. I can pass better. Prove me wrong. Learning. Sai, he's the one that messaged me. What do you think, Sai? Is it us? Is it us that's letting the team down? Should we stop going to games on your bike? Darren, good evening, mate. I hope you're well. Hope everything. Thank you very much, mate. Summerville was class. Definitely man of the match. Best game I've seen in ages. And Nuno's only trained them for a day. And look at the difference. Absolutely Agreed. Daniela, I just wonder if Nuno will go for MGW as a Paqueta replacement. Morgan Gibbs-White. I'd rather keep Paqueta, but Morgan Gibbs-White seems to be out of love with Forest. I think Morgan Gibbs-White wants a bigger move, doesn't he? Would he look at West Ham and go, yes? Be a very good player, though, wouldn't he? I was pissed with Pac-Man. I thought he would have had a bounce this game, but he didn't. He didn't. It's a shame, really. Trudge, Weakling, goodbye. Weakling, goodbye. Hope Nuno is finally the manager who balls to drop him. Oh, you mean Paqueta? Yeah, I don't know. I don't think he will, to be quite honest with you. English Yardage, Salthouse versus George Mendes. It would be tough for Nuno getting transfers through because of Sullivan's interference. This is going to be quite interesting. And one thing, I did a show on Sunday to talk about Nuno's arrival and what we could look forward to. And one of the things is, how is he going to handle the board? Because Nuno is a little bit like Moyes was. You know, he wants control of transfers. He doesn't want interference. And it is going to be interesting to see how he gets on with Sullivan. What promises have been made? Thank you, John. Much appreciated. Thank you, Sarif. Really much appreciated, mate. Brian, team balance was good. It was very good. You could see that. Absolutely. Phil, good luck. Thank you, mate. Really, really appreciated. Clive, best. Thank you very much, Clive. Much appreciated. NWO Pac-Man is flair and master of dark arts. He is, but sometimes I would use them more sometimes I wish he would use them more vigorously. Rich, how are you, mate? I hope you're well. Evening all. Was at the game disappointed. Fair result. Need another striker. Beto Barry not good enough. Good luck with the protests. Rich is one of our Everton fans that watches, and thank you for coming on, mate. Really much appreciated. I was watching it up a few games I haven't been to, but it looked quite lively. I thought it was quite evenly balanced. I need to know what you were disappointed about. Were you disappointed with the result? Obviously, being an Everton fan, but yeah, Beto. I thought I was worried about Beto. I thought he would have got the better of our defenders, especially in the air, but he didn't look all that. Leon, 17 minutes to give a corner and 17 to give away a goal. How do you become a member? If you click on if you click on that, John, next to the subscribe box or something about subscribe, there should be a box that says join. If you click on that, it will take you through to the membership area. Alien, and thank you for asking that. All good and positive all around since Potter left and JWP kicked out of the team in 3 years. First time was tonight to really feel the team, manager and the fans. Felt a little bit like, who knows, you know, Nuno could be something quite revolutionary for us. You know, I know, you know, people are saying don't give up the fight about the, you know, the protests, etc. And I agree with that. But I wonder, can Nuno galvanise this club? Can he? Who knows? Theon, good evening, mate. I hope you're well. I thought Posts was mustard. Chris passing, Potts was mustard. Chris passing, good press, didn't put a foot wrong. Actually thought he was better than Magassa. I disagree, but I take your point. I think Potts was good. And it's good that we've got those two players who can probably play alongside each other. Devon and Dave, come on, your irons. Positive science day, good point. Absolutely. Arrive 66, big improvement tonight. Absolutely. Thank you very much, Paul. Really much appreciated. Brian, Diouf and Summerville are forming a great partnership. I absolutely agree with that. Darren, did you notice the players were on the pitch a lot earlier at halftime? Love seeing Nuno's passion when we conceded, and when we scored, he looked upset when they scored, and he was going to give it right to them, and good that he did. Paul, the thing is, Potter's first game with us was very good. Yeah, I know, but this felt different. Andy, thank you, mate. Much appreciated. Did not watch the game. Laptop died. Did we lose? I take the point. Laptop died. I take the point. All best. Thank you very much, mate. What a time for the laptop to die. GP just read out my comments as they wrote with proper gamma. Brian, much better, especially second half. Reacted well to going a goal behind, which is a big change. Absolutely. Rich, anyone else see the game? What did you think of our new stadium? Loved it. Absolutely wonderful stadium. It is wonderful. We're envious. We are envious. You know, there was a buzz in that place, and You must feel proud of that, mate. I don't know if you've ever visited the London Stadium. You certainly won't get the same feeling there. Montana, where was Souček? Banned, 3-game ban. He just did his second one. First manager to drop both players. No. First manager to drop Ward-Prowse, but Souček is on a 3-game ban. Forget he got sent off, didn't he, a couple of weeks back? Jonathan, I saw him tell Wilson to warm up, and I think he was planning to replace Fulkrug, but then he changed his mind. I don't know why, but there you go. Jonathan Shoot, good evening to you. An improvement, so keep it up and hit the snag list. Central defence, an improvement, so keep it up and hit the snag list. Central defence and a man up front desperately needed. Yeah, agreed. Yeah, absolutely correct. I agree with you there. Let's scroll down. Who else have got? Montana again. Stammer had suspended his very popular digital ID after watching his Brad, still just want to wish you thank you very much, Brad. I really appreciate it. Jay Woods, we should have scored 3, take the point and build. I saw positive signs. Magassa is still raw. Potts was quality, deserves a start. I like that, that people are looking at it from different angles. I've got to be honest. I thought Magassa was great. I really did. But I also thought Potts was great coming on as well. Daniel, great show, great game, to be honest, given the circumstances. Hope the level of concentration keeps going forward. All the best tomorrow. Thank you very much, mate. Much appreciated. Michael, thank you, mate. Much appreciated again. Aaron, if you are the bad omen, you're not going to Arsenal. Will you just try and stop me? Montana, I'm managing my expectations this time. I was so gassed by Loppy and Potter. I'm not celebrating yet. And that's absolutely understandable. Totally understand why you would feel that way. Fly Fox, I think the difference between our performance under Potter and tonight is the boys were working 100% of the time. Yeah, fighting hard. Even when we didn't have the ball, fighting hard. Stuart Magassa was decent in his first start. David, I want Potts to practice penalties, bang them in and give him the edge. Yeah, fair enough. Brian, who would you sign in January realistically and how would you fund it? Well, funding it, I don't know who I'd sign. I know what positions I think we need, which is definitely central defenders, or at least one central defender and at least a striker, something different. In order to fund them, I think Hermansen, I think Todibo, and I think James Ward-Prowse are probably the players that might be sacrificed. Of course, you need clubs that need to buy those players because even if you want to sell them, if no one's looking to buy, then that's going to be difficult. At the very least, people have been talking about free agents. I don't know. Or at the very, very least, then get loan signings in. We haven't got any loan players. Igor is on loan. So we can bring in another domestic loan player. And we can bring in up to 2 overseas players from Europe or whatever. So, yeah. So who I buy, I don't know. How I'd fund it, Hermansen, Todibo, and who did I say? James Ward-Prowse. Interesting first home game is the boycott. Yeah, that's... God. Let's move on. Who else we got? James, good evening, mate. I hope you're well. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Much appreciated. Jay Woods. Fernandez was quiet. He was. I said earlier on, he played in a very different position tonight, a bit deeper than he normally would. Paqueta needs to show some leadership and be more consistent. Absolutely agree with you there. Trodge, Mav and Areola always got a mistake in them, sadly. Areola didn't make any mistakes today, but Mav... he should have been a lot tighter to the player to not allow him to have that free header for their goal. Special one, we have to strengthen in January. This difference, powerful centre forward would make us huge. Powerful and pacey, yeah, and a powerful and a good header of the ball in central defence. I know we need to strengthen. Whether we do or not is a matter of who we might be able to move on. And if we do have to get rid of Todibo and James Ward-Prowse and Hermansen, we're going to take a hit again on all 3 of those players. Even though Hermansen was bought 15 mil, I don't think we'll even get that for him at this moment in time. Todibo, 35 mil, 25 for him. And when it comes to James Ward-Prowse, I mean, we're almost going to have to give him away. We paid 30 for him. Iron. This should have been done right after friendly. Should have even given Potter. Shouldn't have even given Potter a moment to fester any further. I guess, we thought he was going to come good. Harry, First to win at Spuds, New Coup. First to win at Toilet Bowl. First to score at Toffee's Ground. Next record this season. First to go from 19th to first. Mark, considering these aren't even Nuno's coaches, that has got hit that he's got, and he's only been with the team since 2 days ago. It's positive signs, and when he gets his coaches and spends more time here, it'll be better. Do you know one thing I don't want? I don't want him to flood his backroom staff with his own coaches. He's got some good coaches there at West Ham United. He's got he's got Mark. I always forget his name. I don't know why I always forget his name. The under 21s coach, Mark Robson, and various others, Steve Potts. Maybe he doesn't need a whole load of new coaches. Maybe he needs to bring in one or two, but not necessarily a whole team. But you're absolutely right, Mark. Even though he hasn't got all his coaches, and only 2 days with the team, still a good performance. Iron Disciple, give Magassa time. He'll be an animal. I totally agree. Montana, Chris Wood scores at least 2 goals for us tonight. Fulkrug is not good. Trudge, Magassa helps us in air more than Ward-Prowse. He can tackle. His passing needs some work, but he's young. I agree. I like him. What I saw of him tonight, I really, really like. Shaky. Never understood a goalkeeper playing out from the back, get into their half, take the pressure off and put the pressure on. Our pressing was much better tonight. Absolutely. Stuart, do you think Igor would come in on Saturday at Arsenal with their set pieces? Igor's a lump, but apparently someone told me that Igor's no good in the air. So you work that one out. Epic, good evening, mate. I hope you're well. Sai, again, I think Dinos was at fault and Kilman is a farce, but 2 training sessions and 1 game, it will change. Absolutely. Special one. So happy with the way Summerville has come back. I was worried maybe another Cornet after the injury. No, he's always had, he was championship player of the season when we bought him, so I think there's a very good player in there. David, Magassa is young lad, getting used to the Premier League, give him time, and he's already outdoing other West Ham midfielders. Absolutely agree. David, all the best. Thank you very much, mate. Much appreciated. Stuart, Kilman much better. Maybe Nuno can get the best out of him. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. Trudge. What position is Paqueta good in? Someone tell me. A number 8. He's meant to be a number 8. He's meant to be a deeper lying player. But it's just when he loses the ball, that's when it goes all wrong. I know, mate. It ain't our fault because are you going on Saturday? GP, thank you very much. I'm going to have to watch West Ham, chaps. West Ham. John, the players looked like they were starting to enjoy their work again. Absolutely. Leon Stelbesh, thank you very much, and good night to you as well, Leon. Daniela, can you see if Paqueta goes Nuno? Can you see if Paqueta goes Nuno trying to get Gibbs White, who seems to have fallen out with Forest? Like I said earlier on, I don't know. I don't really know. Would Gibbs White want to come to West Ham? I'd like to think he would, and he'll be a great replacement. God, he'd be fantastic. Graham, Sullivan will ruin our club, whoever the manager is. DA, good luck. Thank you very much, mate. Iron Disciple. Nuno says he wanted us to be a nightmare and to be hell for any team to see, nor not that Potts' summer camp. Woodhammer, I'm almost catching up. A good point, well earned. Thank you very much, mate. Much appreciated. No, unfortunately, I don't think we've got any decent under 21 centre backs, to be quite honest with you. The one that we loaned out, not Gollum Beckes, because he's young and he's in the under 21s now. The guy that we loaned out to Swansea, his name's gone. I think he's all right, but I'm still not sure if he would be ideal for us. What's his name? Blonde chap. Someone will know. Someone will tell me what his name is. But we've loaned him out to Swansea City, who's decent, but I'm not sure he'd be ready for the Premier League. Keith, Ward-Prowse was supposed to be there, but he was driving up there himself, and his car only goes. Shaky, I can't believe the speed Diouf has. Absolutely skinned the opposition with his cross into bone. What a talent. Absolutely. Frog, crashing here. Wish you well. Thank you very much, Frog. Much appreciated. Have a good night, mate. Apache. In a few years' time, we'll be like, remember that time we had Chuck Norris as our manager? Larry, the David Dickinson Stadium was the real deal. Thank you for that, mate. You didn't have to, but thank you for that. Yeah, it looked good. that stadium. I was gutted that I wasn't there for tonight. Iron Disciple. At the end of the day, we got to go to bed happy with the result. Potter and James Ward-Prowse ain't there, and there's tomorrow. Paul, it did feel different. Let's hope we have a decent manager now. John, might be controversial, but I think Potter actually wanted out. I think he just gave up bothering. No, I don't. Do you know what? When I looked at his press conference on Friday, I just felt like dead man walking. He looked like he was just like, he had no energy left in him. Chris, do we think Souček gets back into the 11? Possibly, depending on the position he may want to be played in. Montana, Moyes will definitely as an impact sub. Moyes will come back in for Souček in January. I say sell as soon as possible. That's a good shout. That's an interesting shout. Yeah, yeah. Billy Bob, thank you for gently caressing the like button. Chris, more energy tonight, snapping into tackles. Stuart, something felt different tonight. We look dangerous going forward. Absolutely. If we had a decent striker, I think we may have won that game. Darren, Everton should have had a sending off. Oh, yeah, there was the elbow as well into Paqueta, but Paqueta held his face when he got chest, he got elbowed in the chest. But it was an elbow. That's meant to be a sending off. And I think Tarkowski was lucky not to have got sent off either. Mark, Ruben wants a Premier League return. Nuno worked with him at Wolves, currently in Saudi, but at 28 in his prime, he would play deep line playmaker in a double pivot. Interesting shouts, that. Yeah, interesting shout. Ian, thank you very much, mate. Caelan Casey, Trodge, thank you very much. Thank you, Stuart. Caelan Casey. I'm not sure he's ready for the Premier League just yet. PMCC, I love Nuno's post-match interview. Was polite but firm, reminding the interviewer he's only in the door 48 hours. Oh, I'm going to have to watch that. Darren, imagine if Potter does end up at Man United and takes James Ward-Prowse with him. That would be great. I think that would be fantastic. Stel, you're a good luck charm. Only time I met you, we won 5-1 at the Emirates to win the FA Youth Cup. I remember that, Dave. Yeah. What a great night that was, eh? Caractacus. All your online fans wish you thank you. I really, really, really appreciate every one of you wishing me well for tomorrow. Thank you. Eltel, James Ward-Prowse didn't even make the bench. I reckon he watched it from feet up with Potter drinking mocktails. Mans as well. We never see the famous set piece now. Free kick. He certainly won't get it at West Ham, will he? Right, people, I've got to go because I've got to get up very early tomorrow. 3 shows for you today. Bloody hell. I don't know how I managed it, but I did. Thank you all for watching. Thank you all for wishing me the best for tomorrow. I really, really, really appreciate that. If you've yet to become a subscriber and if you want to become a member, click on that, what is it? The QR code up in the corner there. Become a subscriber, become a member if you want to become a member, or at the very least, please hit the like button. Really, really appreciate it with all your best wishes, etc. And I will promise I will see you all very soon.